Join me, Jonesy, for interviews, recaps and much more. So tune in, unwind and get your sporting fix. Hello everybody, welcome to the 22nd episode of the Sporting Fix. I hope you did enjoy our last episode with Richie Egan. Give it a listen if you haven't already. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Give us a follow on Instagram. We love all your support you're doing, and we're just at another episode for the 22nd one of the podcast. To let you know, I've got a bit of a blocked beak, so just bear with me. If I do sound a little bit worse for wear, we're just going to bear with me because it is winter, and everybody around the area is a walking disease. So I'm just trying to bear with me. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so the 22nd episode, round 12, we'll be covering AFL. Round 12, we'll be covering cricket. And the difference in this episode is tennis. Roland Garros, Alex de Minaur, what more can I say? We'll be dissecting that today. We start off at round 12, the AFL. The Port versus Blues, the blockbuster that kick-started what was a fairly good round 12, to be fair, in the world of AFL. It was the Blues who got the job done by a solid amount too. Quite a convincing win. Port have got a bye next week, so they can regather. We'll get into that soon. But the Blues, what a positive result this was for them. They're just doing the little things right. They left Port with too much to do in the last second half, really. Sam Walsh stood up, 34 touches, 13 tackles. 13 tackles is something you don't see every day, but he just is physical. He uses the footy. You know, there's a lot of players that are physical that can't really use the footy. There's players that can use the footy but aren't really physical. And him and Will Day come to mind when you speak of physical presence and the ability to use the share, in which Sam Walsh does to perfection. Nick Newman, I should say, got 29 touches. Handy for him. Horn Francis, 22 touches. What I love about his game is his ability to kick the footy on the outside of his boot. So he's under pressure and he can hit a target with his peripheral vision from anywhere, really. Just little right foot slipper on the outside of the boot. That'll find a target. No other player can do so. He uses that sort of the boot to perfection. Georgiades with 4 goals, but you know, you can look at the positives for Port, but you lost the game, right? So they have a bye, they'll relax, regroup, and try and go at it in a couple of weeks' time. But it is a bit dampening for them, considering the Blues haven't won at the Adelaide Oval in the history of their club. And for that to be broken on the weekend was not a positive note for Port Adelaide. The Pies and the Dogs we go to. So I've pinpointed 4 games of football out of the 7. The Pies and the Dogs stood out to me. I chose this game because it was not a result I was expecting. I mean, the Dogs won 100. They scored 100 points. The Pies only scored 82. The Pies have got Melbourne on Easter. Oh my goodness, not Easter Monday. The King's birthday on Monday. They should win. But you never know with this mob. The Dogs, they should beat the Lions next week. That'll put him in the top 8 with a healthy percentage of about 120, I'm pretty sure. But what I did like with the Dogs game is they had Lobb, so Rory Lobb, Sam Darcy, and Jamari Eaglehagen in the forward line, and they are 3 big units. And if that ball comes anywhere near the top of the square, you're in deep trouble if you're Isaac Quainer, if you're any defender, really. And then you chuck in Norton in the mix when he recovers from his injury, and their forward line will be unstoppable. Bontempelli, 38 disposals, 2 goals, 9 tackles, 74% disposal efficiency, a fantasy score of 159. I had him as captain. He carried me this week, scoring a healthy 318, I think it was, if you calculate that, double it. Bailey Dale, he's the most underrated player in the comp in my eyes at the moment. He was out of the team, came back, 30-plus disposals. He's done the same here, 35 touches. He needs recognition. His ability to get the footy at half-back, switch kick, down the centre, through the guts, or the safe option down the line, he's always there for the Dogs when it comes into that defensive 50. He needs the praise that he deserves, which he isn't getting, and I'm giving it to him right now. Adam Treloar, 37 disposals, And a goal, good for him. It's just another day at the office. But the Dogs find themselves a game outside the 8 by percentage. Obviously relying on other teams, how they will go in round 13. But the Dogs, if they beat Brisbane, which they should, if you think of a logical sense, they should beat Brisbane. They will find themselves in the top 8 and they are back after a shaky start. Freo and Melbourne I've also chosen to dissect because it was a result, again, I was not expecting. It was a demolition in Alice Springs, a game, a venue where Melbourne don't lose games. They lost today by a significant margin. At a time where they were leading the game at the start, you were thinking, oh, they'll win the game. But no, they lose heavily. And Freo find themselves 6th on the ladder. With a healthy percentage, really healthy percentage also. They had 80 more touches. They had 80 more possessions than Melbourne. And that is a big, big stat because if you have more possession by any margin, it is handy. To have 80 more touches, meaning 80 more touches down the line, you get more meterage, you get more effective disposals, you hit the scoreboard more. That was a real concern considering Melbourne have Petrarca, Oliver, Viney in the midfield, and for them to be losing, it's concerning for Melbourne, but it is very, very promising for Freo with their young midfield led by Brayshaw and Sarong, with Fife in there too, a bit of experience to mix in with that. Also, they crushed the clearances, so again, their midfield game won them the game, actually, Freo, if you think about it. Jai Clark at 36 touches, Luke Ryan, brilliant off fullback or halfback or whatever you like to say. But Melbourne, I've got nothing for you because that is a result that should not have happened for them. They're a team that I just don't like to watch because they're inconsistent and they don't really have a process by the looks of things. And I'm not having to dig at Simon Goodwin. I'm just saying they don't look like they have a flowing culture, a process from full back to full forward they do not have, and it is a real concern heading into the second half of the season where they believe they are contenders, but if you dish up performances like that, you're contending for the wooden spoon. We turn around to the end of the week where the Hawks and Adelaide faced off. A massive victory for the Hawks. They are unstoppable. I think they won last 4 of their last 5 games, which is obviously a brilliant result for them. They had less possession than Adelaide, which is a stat that stood out to me, but they still won the game. It's because of their efficiency, the way they use the ball. But not only efficiency throughout the game, it's the efficiency inside 50 that was elite for them. They had 54% effectiveness inside 50. They had 34 shots from 63 entries inside 50, compared to Adelaide, who had 18 shots from 41 entries inside 50. So if you have 41 inside 50s, you are not winning a game of football. If you only score 18 times, you are not winning the football. There are no finals for Adelaide now. Depressing for them after a positive end to last year. You'd think that they come into 2024 with a likelihood of making finals, which didn't occur. Matt Crouch, 35 touches, the only positive to come out of that game for Adelaide. Dylan Moore, 5 goals. You'd have a few Hawks fans absolutely glazing him at the moment. He's doing great as well. So that is 8 minutes into the segment, AFL done. And this is what I want to focus on. We won't end the AFL there. We'll just do the tips later on, I'll say. Actually, no, we'll do the tips now. I'll just mix it up. We'll do the tips now. So for round 13, we start off with the Crows and the Tigers. I tip the Crows. It's at the Adelaide Oval. They should win. I'll do the safe bet. They should win. Dogs will beat the Lions in Marvel. Hawks will beat the Giants in Tasmania because, one, they don't lose there. They're on a winning streak. The Giants, a very good team, but the Hawks will get the job done. Eagles and the Roos, no Harley Reid. That made me hesitant to tip them. But you've got Watermelon. You've got Waterman back, and you've got Tim Kelly back. And to me, that is enough to wipe the worst team out of the competition out the park. It's in Optus. They should win. If they don't, that is extremely concerning. The Saints and the Suns at Marvel. Saints will win. Suns don't. Suns are allergic to Melbourne. Swans and the Cats. The Swans will win. Dons and the Blues. Essendon will win. And then the Pies will beat Melbourne on the King's birthday. There you go. That is AFL done. AFL done and dusted. Tick that off. This is why I wanted to do this segment. The tennis. Roland Garros. 2024 Grand Slam. Alex de Minaur. Quarterfinal locked and loaded in the French Open. He's facing Alexander Zverev, 5th seed. Alex de Minaur's the 11th seed. He beat Medvedev in 4 sets, but he coughed up the first one. So what he did is he won 3 in a row, which was very impressive against a very quality player opposition of Daniil Medvedev. No Aussie has ever had an impact on clay as much as he is having right now. Alex de Minaur has not had a good record on clay that he is now. He's now having an impact. First time since Hewitt, I think back in 2004, since a male Aussie tennis player made the quarterfinal in Roland Garros on clay. So we wish him luck in France. After the Oz Open, Rublev lost in 5 sets, where it was a cracking game of tennis. Just power hitting, forehands, backhands. It was brilliant to watch. After that, he's come back and he's said, I'm here to play real tennis. And he was playing real tennis before. He was brilliant. He was winning games, but he's back. And we wish him the best of luck. If you have not noticed, watch the tennis on Channel 9 and watch Alex de Minaur win the French Open. If he gets through Zverev, he will get through anyone. He will win. That's a little spiel that I wanted to dish out early. And this is something that I wanted to mention too. So the T20 World Cup, cricket, USA hosting cricket is unique because I think I've mentioned this before, they wouldn't know what a cricket ball is. So for them to host it is unique. 15k capacity is probably not good. I don't like it. A team or a country hosting cricket that don't know what cricket is themselves is a bit of a problem in itself. To have stadiums that are only holding 15k is a problem in itself. Australia in Group B, so they've got Namibia, England, Oman, Scotland, and of course themselves. It's automatic that they will qualify in this Group B. The only problem they have in that is England, who are very, very, very competitive at the moment in their T20 format. Namibia, Oman, and Scotland are pretty safe bets. England is the only team that is quite worrying to Australia, but it's the top 2 that qualify. So England and Australia will qualify. It leaves Namibia, Oman, and Scotland out of the park. So Australia are in the box 8 to win. They will win. I think in Caribbean, they've got the best team, the best leaders to run the joint. And I think this is their year again. They've had such a good run in cricket, haven't they, recently? The new Test episode came out on Amazon Prime, and there'll be a lot of people watching that. I know I certainly was. So they've been through a lot, and I think they'll certainly get on top of the T20 World Cup. They've won one recently too as well. So tune in for that. I think they play Thursday, which is going to be a good game. Tune in for that, cricket. And hopefully they do get the job done. So what I want you to take out of this episode is the AFL segment. I've chosen these 4 teams because I wanted to analyse what these teams are doing because they're going under the radar. So I hope you learnt something there. I wanted you to focus on tennis because Alex de Minaur is playing brilliant tennis. Last person we saw winning games in Australia, Ash Barty. She was the reason people pick up a tennis racket. Alex de Minaur is now the reason a person will pick up the tennis racket. His agility on the court, his his speed, his serve is 200k plus. His forehand, his backhand, his slice, he has everything under control, and he's young. So he's got a huge future ahead of him. I think he will win the French Open. And then cricket, USA hosting it. I don't like that. The group Australia's in, I like that. Australia's chances of winning, I like that. So I think I've covered everything today. And before I wrap this episode up, I want to mention the idea. It's just an idea. It's not confirmed yet. I just want to hear the idea and see what you guys think, whether you'd be up to this or not. But I'm pretty excited. Hopefully you say yes. I want, at the end of each episode, to give you listeners a say in how you think your team is going. For instance, if you go for the Western Bulldogs, I want you to send us an email, maybe a little paragraph or so about how you think you're going. You can swear, you can be absolutely killing your coach, you can be digging into your team, or you can be kind, and I'll read them out. It'll be anonymous. I'll say, example, anonymous, this person goes for the Western Bulldogs, here's what they have to say, blah, 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 because I want you guys to be involved in the ride too, and it'll be pretty funny if your team's not going too well and you dig into them, and I would love to read them out. So it's a thought, it's an idea, it's not confirmed. I'd love you guys to think on that. Would you be up to doing that? Hopefully you are, because I would be so excited to read some of the comments out. They would be very, very questionable. So pretty much in a nutshell, send us an email of what you think how your team is going. Be critical, be not critical. Send us it and I'll read it out. It's just a thought. It's an idea. It's not confirmed. So thank you everybody for listening to the 22nd episode of the Sporting Fix. A short one today, covered AFL, cricket, tennis, and of course the new little addition that could be involved with the podcast. It is the Sporting Fix with Jonesy. Have a good one.